Have you ever been in a conversation where it just feels like you're speaking a completely different language?
Oh, absolutely.
Or watched someone operate and found yourself thinking, am I actually surrounded by idiots?
It's a feeling almost everyone can relate to, I think. It's this fundamental human puzzle.
Right.
Why do some interactions flow so easily, while others feel like, well, pulling teeth? Yeah.
Exactly. That core frustration is what we're diving into today. Our source material is Thomas Erikson's incredibly popular book, Surrounded by Idiots.
And it has that special foreword by David Bonsetter, CEO of TTI Success Insights.
Yeah, and this isn't about labeling anyone, though. That's really key. It's a deep exploration of how we're all wired, uniquely.
And the profound impact that has on every single interaction we have.
Totally.
Our mission, really, for this deep dive is to unpack the fascinating DISC method.
Okay.
It's a system that helps classify human behavior using 4 distinct colors: red, yellow, green, and blue.
And we'll go beyond just defining them. We want to explore their core traits.
Yeah.
How they see themselves versus how others see them.
That difference in perception is huge.
And most importantly, give you practical strategies to adapt your communication.
Yeah.
Because that's how we build stronger relationships and, avoid those frustrating, unnecessary clashes.
Makes sense. Ready to jump in?
Let's do it. So Erikson's personal journey into this actually started with his own early experiences. He talks about how some conversations just clicked, they flowed, while others felt like hitting a brick wall.
Right.
He'd find himself genuinely puzzled by why some people seemed like total blockheads
Yes.
and just couldn't grasp his point.
And what's so relatable here is how universal that feeling is. Erikson illustrates it perfectly with stir.
Ah, sure, yeah.
This self-employed man in his 60s who genuinely believed his entire company was, well, surrounded by idiots.
It sounds unbelievable, but yeah.
And Stur's definition of idiocy, it turned out, was simply anyone who didn't think or act exactly like him. He'd openly call employees idiots, which, as you can imagine, created quite a hostile environment.
I'll say.
They even had a red light at reception to signal when Stur was in the building.
No way.
Yeah, prompting clients to actually turn back if it was glowing red.
I mean, imagine that work environment, that rigid thinking from Stur, this idea that if you're not like me, you're fundamentally flawed. It really became a catalyst for Erikson.
Right. It pushed him.
He realized that this lack of understanding wasn't just annoying, it was actually limiting his own potential.
His ability to connect, to achieve things.
Exactly. And that's what ultimately led him to the DISC method.
So, zooming out a bit, the DISC method itself, it's a powerful framework. Erikson uses it to describe human communication and classify behavior patterns. He interprets the acronym as dominance, inducement, submission, and analytic ability.
Okay, so DISA in his version.
Right. Now, some listeners might know the more common terms: influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness for the IS and C.
Good point.
It's just worth noting Erikson's specific framing. The method itself was developed originally by Bill and David Bonstetter.
Okay.
Started in rural Iowa back in 1984, initially to help agricultural salespeople.
Interesting origin.
Yeah, but now it's used globally in countless businesses.
And it's so important to underline this again. The core purpose isn't to put people in boxes or categorize them as idiots. It's really about uncovering human potential. And valuing people for their unique strengths and even their weaknesses. It's about understanding, not judgment.
Precisely. And this raises a crucial question. Who is responsible for effective communication?
Good question.
Erikson makes it very clear. Communication always happens on the listener's terms.
Always.
According to him, yes. You can't fundamentally change how someone else is wired.
Right.
But you absolutely can adjust your own communication style to better connect with them.
That's a powerful statement, but it also puts the onus entirely on me, the communicator.
It does put a lot of responsibility there.
What if the other person is genuinely unyielding? Is there a point where adapting becomes just, I don't know, enabling their difficult behavior?
That's a vital question. And yeah, Erikson doesn't suggest becoming a doormat.
Okay, good.
He emphasizes self-awareness first, so you understand your own default style.
Makes sense.
And yes, while you can't change others, understanding their style helps you choose the most effective approach. It's strategic communication, not subservience.
Okay, strategic. I like that.
And no system is perfect, of course. It's a tool, a lens. Like Carl Jung said, we see what we do, but we do not see why we do what we do.
That's deep. And what's really interesting is that most people, about 80% of us, apparently are actually a combination of two dominant colors.
Right, not just one pure color.
Only a small percentage have just one primary color, or even three.
Which means behavior can be both recognizable and surprisingly complex.
Yeah. So think of these behavior patterns less as rigid labels and more like a toolbox.
A toolbox, yeah, I like that metaphor.
Yeah. There's no inherently right or wrong behavior. It's about knowing which tool to use for a given situation.
Exactly. Appropriateness.
So with that framework in mind, let's pull back the curtain and meet the first of Erikson's fascinating color profiles, starting with the one you probably won't miss. The red behavior, or the driver.
Ah, the reds, yes.
Yeah.
These are your energetic, highly efficient, action-oriented individuals.
Got it.
They make quick decisions and are notoriously blunt communicators.
Blunt is putting it mildly sometimes, maybe.
Maybe. Think of the CEO Erikson describes who made company soccer tournaments deadly serious.
Oh, I remember that. Intense.
Competitive to the extreme. Or Bjorn, the company founder who absolutely detested inactivity.
Right, the guy packing 5 minutes of work into every gap.
Exactly. Pure red energy. They're always striving for progress and will quickly adapt to better solutions if they see a faster path to their goal.
It's incredible how that drive manifests.
Yeah.
But how are these dynamic individuals often perceived by others? What should listeners keep in mind?
Well, that directness can sometimes come across as, belligerent, arrogant, or even egotistical.
Okay.
They can be incredibly impatient. Bjorn, for example, regularly drove in the bus lane for miles.
Just to save a few minutes, racking up fines.
Right. They can be aggressive, sometimes controlling. And while Reds demand honesty, they react pretty strongly to criticism themselves.
What interesting dynamic.
They're far more task-oriented than relationship-oriented.
Right.
And might unwittingly exclude themselves from important information just by alienating people.
Any famous examples?
Well, people often point to figures like Steve Jobs, Margaret Thatcher, or even Mother Teresa because of her immense determination and forcefulness in achieving her goals as embodying red characteristics.
Fascinating. So the key is understanding that their intensity is rooted in their drive for results.
Pretty much.
So when you're interacting with a red, forget the pleasantries, maybe.
Initially, yes. Get to the point.
Directness is your superpower. Your ability to provide clear, actionable information isn't just appreciated, it's expected.
And it's how you earn their respect, by being direct and factual.
Got it. Okay, now let's shift gears to the sunshine of the DISC world. Yellow behavior or the inspirer?
Ah, yellows, yes.
Yeah.
These are your natural optimists, your cheerleaders.
Fun.
They're cheerful, lively, and incredibly inspiring. Think of Marianne, the sales director.
Oh, yeah, the one who could get people to jump out a window.
Exactly, with sheer inspiration, even from the 5th floor, just because she sold them on the idea.
That's persuasive.
Totally. They're creative, full of ideas like Robin and his endless Gardy designs, always seeing opportunities. Yellows absolutely love to talk and entertain, like Erikson's yellow sister Marita, who apparently never thinks before she speaks.
We all know someone like that.
Or his friend Mike, who seemed jinxed with misfortunes, but always bounced back with an incredibly positive spin.
That optimism is infectious, but let's talk about Peter.
Oh, Peter, the sales manager.
We all know a Peter, don't we? It's almost impressive how much they can talk without actually saying anything new sometimes.
Exactly. And while it's easy to laugh for, say, a blue in that meeting, it's probably causing internal agony.
Good point. So when it comes to harnessing that boundless yellow energy, what challenges do people often face?
Well, others often perceive yellows as maybe selfish, superficial, or overly self-confident. They can be poor listeners, easily distracted, often careless with details. Remember, Peter spoke 69% of the meeting.
69%. Wow.
Despite having only one point on the agenda, they tend to dominate conversations and famously struggle with time management.
The lateness factor.
Yes, often arriving late to things like dinner parties, famous yellows, Oprah Winfrey, Robin Williams.
Makes sense.
Even fictional characters like Han Solo. The challenge is keeping them focused without stifling that creativity.
So the crucial insight for engaging with yellows is embrace the enthusiasm. But remember to bring the concrete plan yourself. Tap into their excitement, but gently guide them back to the necessary details and deadlines.
You got it. Be the structure they sometimes lack.
Okay. Moving on, we have green behavior, or the supporter. This is the most common profile, right? So incredibly important to understand.
That's right, the most common. Greens are characterized by balance, calmness, and a leisurely, easygoing nature.
Nice.
They go to great lengths to avoid conflict and are excellent listeners, like Helena.
The seller who just listened about the vintage car.
Exactly. Listen for over an hour and then close the deal. They are selfless, like Lasse, who helps everyone.
Right, even forgetting his own stuff.
Yeah. Greens are predictable, and they highly value harmony and cooperation in any group. They're often the glue holding teams together.
It sounds like they're the ideal team player. But there must be a flip side to that intense desire for harmony, right?
There usually is.
How are greens sometimes perceived, and what are the less obvious challenges?
Well, what's often overlooked is that their avoidance of conflict can make them seem, well, pig-headed sometimes.
Really? Pig-headed?
Yeah, or obstinate, even indifferent. They can struggle to take firm positions on sensitive issues, leading to ambiguous communication.
Ah, okay.
They dislike change profoundly, which can cause resistance. And when frustrated, they tend to internalize it.
Bottle it up.
Exactly.
Right.
Which can then lead to sulking or passive-aggressive behavior. Erikson gives the example of his green colleague Mike, who got angry after public praise,
Strange reaction.
or Helena's husband, who would mope for weeks after a disagreement. They can also, at times, be quite naive and gullible.
Okay, so understanding this means you need to be mindful of their internal world, even if they don't express it outwardly.
Very much so.
So when nurturing relationships with greens, your gentleness and clarity are key. They'll respond to a calm, reassuring approach and appreciate clear guidance, especially when change is involved.
Absolutely. Clear, non-confrontational communication.
Got it. Finally, we arrive at blue behavior, the analyst. These individuals are fascinating because their strengths are so often misinterpreted.
Blues are highly logical, rational, precise, and intensely quality-focused.
Quality-focused.
Think of the dad Erikson mentions who measured gravel to the exact centimeter per meter for drainage.
Incredible detail.
Or the blue individual assembling IKEA furniture, meticulously counting every screw before even starting.
I know that feeling.
They're unassuming experts who prioritize facts and thorough preparation. Like the CEO who demanded 85-plus page quotes just to consider a leadership program.
85 pages.
Yep. Blues are introverted, quiet observers who rarely speak an unnecessary word. They are the backbone of accuracy.
That level of detail and precision sounds incredibly valuable, but I can also imagine how that might rub some people the wrong way.
It definitely can. It's a double-edged sword.
How are blues often perceived, and what are the common communication pitfalls?
You're right, it can be tricky. They're often seen as evasive, defensive perfectionists.
Okay.
Reserved, fastidious, meticulous, hesitant, conservative, questioning, suspicious, aloof, and sometimes even cold-hearted.
Wow, that's a list.
It is. They're frequently labeled as pessimists because their focus on risks and details can lead to decision stagnation.
Analysis paralysis.
Exactly. Like the car buyer who test drove 16 models for 8 months before buying the most common one anyway.
Oh my goodness.
They also require a lot of personal space and generally dislike small talk.
Right. So the key is recognizing that their pessimism is often just thorough risk assessment.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
So for our blue-aligned listeners, or for those interacting with blues, the crucial insight is appreciate their meticulousness, give them the data.
Data is king for blues.
Respect their need for precision, and be patient, maybe helping them move from analysis to action when necessary.
Gently, yes. Help them see when good enough is actually good enough.
Okay. Now that we've really explored each color, let's talk about the art of adaptation.
Crucial part.
It's true that adapting to others requires effort and energy, but here's where it gets really interesting. It's critical because you will almost always be in the minority when communicating.
That's a counterintuitive point, but so true.
Good communication isn't about others meeting your terms, it's about you meeting theirs.
Exactly. Erikson's company party example perfectly illustrates this. It's quite funny, actually.
Oh, yeah. What happened?
He describes how alcohol strangely seemed to swap personalities. Yellows became moody.
The opposite.
Blues danced on tables.
No.
Reds became vulnerable, and greens finally voiced all their stored-up grievances.
Wow. Like an alternate reality.
It's humorous, maybe exaggerated, but it shows that deep-seated traits can seem to flip under, let's say, unique conditions.
Right.
But the core patterns almost always return once the external influence is gone.
Okay, so it highlights the core patterns by showing the contrast.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for real-world interactions? How do we actually do this adapting?
Let's get practical. Let's start with reds. If you're engaging with them, what's the playbook?
Okay, reds, be quick, be businesslike.
No fluff.
Avoid small talk initially. They're not there for pleasantries. Be direct and determined.
Okay.
If a conflict arises, don't back down immediately. Argue your point with facts. That actually earns their respect.
Stand your ground with logic.
Right. When giving criticism, avoid gift wrapping. Be blunt. Be prepared for an argument.
Oh, boy.
And ask them to repeat what they've agreed upon to ensure understanding. They value clarity over comfort.
Got it. Clarity, directness, facts. What about those effervescent yellows? How do we keep them engaged and on track?
For yellows, avoid drowning them in details.
Okay.
Appeal to their gut feeling, their excitement. Be innovative. And don't be afraid to flatter them a little.
Okay.
They respond incredibly well to enthusiasm.
Yeah.
But to get concrete results, you need a plan ready.
You bring the plan.
Yes. Ask for specific commitments, like, yes, I'll be there at 4, and be firm about deadlines. Maybe even invite them early.
Synchronize watches.
Might need to. And when giving negative feedback, be persistent, use facts, and prepare for potential manipulation or a martyr complex.
Oh, the drama.
It's all part of their dramatic flair. Handle it calmly with facts.
Okay. And for the most common profile, the greens. How do we navigate their desire for harmony when difficult conversations are necessary?
Adapting to greens. Be gentle. Avoid friction. Deliver criticism in private, never public.
Definitely private.
Express your feelings like I feel neglected,
Yeah.
rather than criticizing their actions directly. That lands better.
Use I statements.
Exactly. Don't backpedal on your statements once you've made them. Be consistent. Provide clear step-by-step instructions because they often don't take initiative readily.
Okay, clarity again, but gentle clarity.
Right. Reassure them that criticism is about specific behavior, not them personally. And for greens, it's vital to address problems early before they internalize too much frustration.
Don't let it simmer.
Don't let it simmer. Nip it in the bud gently.
Finally, let's talk about the meticulous blues. How do we foster effective communication with someone who needs all the data, all the time?
For blues, rule number 1, be thoroughly prepared. With facts, with details.
Do your homework.
Absolutely. Expect them to question everything. Don't get too personal too quickly. Be patient with their need for information.
Patience is key.
Very key. And always ask them to repeat what they've agreed to, as they often internalize rather than verbalize agreement.
Make sure it's actually landed.
Right. Help them with the decision stagnation, that analysis paralysis, by providing crucial data and maybe highlighting the repercussions of delay.
Create some urgency with facts.
Exactly. If facts aren't available, explain the logic of using intuition, emphasizing that, 95% right is still good sometimes.
Help them bridge that gap.
Yeah. And maybe gently remind them that others have feelings. Honesty isn't an excuse for callousness.
Good point. Okay, so understanding how these colors combine is where things get even more interesting and complex.
Absolutely. Because most people aren't just one color. You have natural combinations that tend to work smoothly.
Like what?
Like blue-green. They often work well together on calm, reflective tasks. Or red-yellow for dynamic, outgoing collaboration.
Okay, that makes sense.
Then you have complementary combinations like blue-red. This can act as a kind of brake and accelerator for task-oriented balance.
Interesting. Brake and accelerator.
Or green-yellow, offering a people-focused balance, where maybe one does more talking and one does more listening, creating a nice social dynamic.
But then you get into what Erikson calls the genuine problems.
Yes, the clashes.
When truly opposite colors are forced to work together. Think about a red and a green on a project.
Oh boy. Red wants action, quick decisions. Green resists change, needs time to process. Friction.
Big time. Or a yellow and a blue.
Yellow improvises, brainstorms wildly, maybe ignores details. Blue demands meticulous details and facts before moving an inch.
It can feel like two different planets. Is there a universal solution for these deep-seated clashes?
Well, the ultimate solution here, as Erikson points out, is always self-awareness first, understand your colors,
right,
and then observation. If you simply can't figure someone out, his advice is act green. Just listen and observe.
So retreat to listening.
Yeah. Even passivity is a form of behavior, and in this case, it's often a subtle display of blue, giving you time to gather more data before you react. It's about gathering clues.
And you can find clues in so many places, right? Even beyond just talking, like writing styles.
Oh, definitely. Think about emails. K's blunt, all caps, B punctual, email.
Classic red, no question.
Prill's chatty, anecdote-filled email about Lhasa spilling his drink.
Pure yellow. Lost in the story.
Christian's polite, polished email about bringing cinnamon buns to a meeting.
Screams green. Consider it harmonious.
And Christian Johnson's factual, attachment-laden email reminding you to familiarize yourself with the necessary background information.
Undoubtedly blue. All about the data.
And this is where it gets really useful day to day. Anger and stress manifest differently across these colors.
Oh, interesting. How so?
They often just exaggerate their core traits under pressure. Reds become fiery, explosive maybe, but quickly forget the conflict.
Okay, short fuse, quick recovery.
Yellows are expressive, dramatic, quick to anger, but also usually quick to forget.
Big reaction, then it passes.
Greens are slow to anger, but they bottle it up.
Right, the simmering.
And when they finally explode, they remember everything you ever did wrong.
Ouch. Holds on to it.
And blues, the internalized frustration. They might become overly critical, withdrawn, or super analytical under stress.
They go deeper into analysis mode.
Exactly. Understanding these stress responses can help you avoid unnecessary conflict and stress, maybe even diffuse situations before they escalate.
That's incredibly practical. So the book culminates with this really insightful example Erikson calls the most enlightening team project in the history of the world.
Yes. It's a great illustration. He put groups of single colors together to solve a complex problem.
What happened?
The red group rushed, solved the wrong problem entirely, but were convinced they'd won. The yellow group entertained everyone with hilarious stories, had a great time, but delivered absolutely nothing concrete.
All talk, no action.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And the blue group, they planned endlessly, meticulously debated grammar in their plan, but never actually took action. They just couldn't move forward without more data, more certainty.
Wow. So each single color group failed in its own unique way.
Exactly. The ultimate conclusion from this experiment, and really from this entire deep dive, is crystal clear. Diversity is the only possible route for effective teamwork and dynamics.
It really highlights the need for different perspectives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Managers often unknowingly recruit people just like themselves.
Yeah, we see that.
Perpetuating these communication problems and missing out on critical strengths from other profiles. It's a powerful lesson in valuing what everyone brings to the table.
So as you, our listener, go about your day, keep your eyes open, practice observing these colors in real life.
At work, in your social circle, even within your own family.
Think about whom you choose to spend time with and why. This deep dive gives you a powerful lens for understanding human behavior.
It's a framework, a starting point.
But knowing the framework is just the first step, right? The true value comes from applying it.
Adapting your approach.
And transforming your interactions. The real journey, the profound shift in how you connect with the world. Well, that truly begins now.
The rest is up to you.